What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video we are looking at one of these high-speed drift tanks. Now I have two of them here. This one is a camo version as well as a full gray version. I'm going to unbox the camo one for you, and then we're going to take the gray one out for some bashing and see how they do and see what comes in the box. So stay tuned.
All the time.
Okay, so first things first, we have our tank as well as this little baby bottle. This is kind of odd. I'm guessing that has to do with the spraying function. So we'll put that aside for a second. We'll open this up and we have the camo version. So I will say right off the bat, these things look super realistic. They are very cool looking and they have a ton of detail on it. Different paint schemes, obviously, but exactly the same truck. I'll throw some B-roll over this footage as I'm talking. But, yeah, really good detail on these things. They have little words kind of spray painted on there. This one is the K9 version, and the gray one just says 12 on the front. But both of them have gull wing doors here that open up, and they have a little steering wheel in there, if you can see it. I'll put some B-roll of that. There's some little display screens in there as well, but those are cool. You might be able to fit an action figure in there, maybe without the legs, just to add some realism to it, but the doors clip on like so. In the back here we have a bunch of lights, as well as in the front we have a couple lights there. In the back of the tank here we have a little kind of bed there, as well as this little jerry can. And this jerry can isn't just for show, it does have a purpose, so I'll show you that in just a second. We'll get the remote out. So flipping this tank over, you can see we have the little clip for the battery tray, as well as a Phillips head screwdriver. I went ahead and took this off in the gray one, so we can go ahead and open that up right now. There are two clips, and then this opens up. So one thing you'll note on the gray one is that there's a Dean's connector on there. I went ahead and changed that because unfortunately these come out of the box with this Tamiya style circle and square connector, and I don't really have a lot of batteries that work with that. So this is a 7.4 volt lithium ion battery that it comes with. When we run it outside, I'm going to run it on a 2S Lipo. So I'm going to try one of these DRC Lipos, just your standard 1800 milliamp hour Lipo that fits in there. And then if the 2S Lipo doesn't blow this thing up, we are going to try and run it on a 3S Lipo. This is a little 500 milliamp hour 35C discharge 3S Lipo from Ovonic. It does fit in there nicely, and we'll see if the electronics can hold it. I definitely wouldn't recommend doing 3S, but you know, per the channel, we have to try. Opening up the camo tank, as you can see, again, it's got the same battery in there with this connector. So go ahead and change that out if you don't really like these connectors. I don't think it's a big deal, and it shouldn't change much. But again, we'll see when we run it on the 2S and 3S batteries. We'll move on to the remote right here. Seems like a very plastic, cheap remote, but again, does the job. It's got one button on the front that says smoking, power LED, as well as your on-off switch, plastic turning on the side there, and you do need to provide 3 AA batteries of your own. It does not come with AA batteries, so just something to note. So let's go ahead and turn both of these tanks on, see if anything is different between the two. So we got a ton of lights on here. We'll turn on the gray one. This remote is for the gray one. And again, both of them have the on-off switch. So both of them have the same lights. Let's turn on the remote. And you hear that beep, which means it is bound to this one. Alright, so that is really cool. So you can see the front lights go solid blue, and there's nothing on the back. We got this LED bar up top that flashes like so. And again, like I said before, this little jerry can in the back does serve a purpose. You can pull that. Uh-oh. Well, that wasn't supposed to happen. Now, this jerry can has a little rubber grommet on it, and it opens up this little spot here that you can see. And what you do is you fill it with this. This is a little water bottle. You fill this up with water, and you fill up this back little reservoir. This whole thing is kind of has a tank underneath it. And the really cool part about this tank is once you press that smoking button, we get a whole bunch of different lights and features. So this is really cool. It's just water, but as you can see, these backlights turn red and blue, and it puffs out smoke, which is really cool. So this is supposed to be somewhat of a police-style tank. This one does the same exact thing. It's kind of a cool little novelty feature. The one thing that I'm a little bit concerned about with these is that the tread doesn't really have much grip to it. I know there is a lot of surface area down at the bottom that is touching when it runs, but we'll see how it does in slipperier terrain as well as maybe some grass and stuff like that. But yeah, these treads are like a rubbery material, but there's no, as you can see, they're really slick and there's no real tread on them other than, you know, what's on the inside and what you see. The tread is one piece of rubber. It's not like it's linked together by different little pins or anything. It is one little rubber strip, so just something to note there. So that's enough talking about these tanks. Let's go bring them outside. We're going to strap the Insta360 Go2 to this thing and see if we can get some awesome footage. This thing looks to be the perfect size to even just fit inside, so I think we're going to get some really cool onboard footage. Maybe we'll hang it off the side and stuff like that. So definitely check out these down below. This is my go-to camera for RC cars and all things FPV, so I'll leave a link down below where you can look at this camera. Try and make it up this. This is kind of, you can see it really picking up that gravel. A little bit of slippage there. I tell you, for $100, this thing's pretty cool. Does a lot. I guess you could consider it a crawler almost. Oh. It's doing all right. Let's throw in a 3S battery before it gets too dark and see if it can handle it, see what kind of speeds we get. All right. Ooh, it's definitely got more speed on 3S. Oh, and we tipped it. Oh yeah, it's a lot faster on 3S. Again, I wouldn't recommend it, but we have to try it just to see if it can. It's cruising. I would say that's about, I don't know, 13, 15 miles an hour. You can see this thing just takes everything. That's kind of the cool thing about it. There's no real stopping it. This thing's a blast. I'll leave a link down below to this gray one as well as the camo one if I can find them both. And I'm gonna leave you guys with some footage that my friend Dean over at RC Driver and Greg at RC Driver helped me film. We met up a couple weeks ago and filmed this RC tank running in the mud. So check that footage out, and we'll see you in the next one.